Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Anecdotal Economist, and I have one thing to say. It's a bubble. It's a bubble. And if you have not watched The Big Short, then you are missing out. Cue the intro. Oh, wait. I just checked with my tech support, and they've told me there's no intro. So we're just going to ad-lib this right now. Get into talking about this bubble. The question is, where is the bubble? Now, you could say it's in gold and silver. I mean, gold just went up 30%. Silver's doing pretty good. I know a lot of people are not, they're like, it needs to be 50, 60, 70 or I won't be happy. I'll tell you right now, $30 is pretty good. It was not that long ago that I thought, we were going to be around $20 for the next 3 to 5 years. Yet, here we are. You could also say the bubble is in Bitcoin. Look at the thing. Absolutely insane that Bitcoin is broaching $100,000, and yet, well, I have opinions on that I'll save for another day. Could it be the stock market? Is the stock market in a bubble? Maybe. Could it be the freedom and patriotism of the Western world? Is that the bubble? Is it the very heart and soul of the free world? I do not know. But here's what I do know. We just had a pretty substantial pullback all the way from all-time highs, which we just broke through every possible glass ceiling. I guess I can't call it a glass ceiling. That means something different now. But we broke through a lot of resistance. It wasn't that long ago that I was telling people to buy gold at $1,800 an ounce. When it hit 2,000, I wasn't telling people to buy gold anymore. And here we are at 2650. It was almost 2700 briefly. It really got up there, pulled all the way back. This crazy pullback. Holy cow, a pullback. I can't even fathom having to suffer through this pullback. All the way back to $2,500 almost. And right back up to 2650. So what is going on? What is going to happen next? And to me, it's somewhat simple. You can be one of those people who dives into ultra deep analysis. And I love watching those channels. I watch them. If you watch them, I also watch them. I will go so far as to look up the data myself. I will open my web browser. I will use the modern World War Web. Did I just say World War Web? Excuse me, Freudian slip. The World Wide Web, to find out what the heck is going on out there. But the thing is, at the end of the day, there are too many variables to keep track of it all. All you can do at best is make suppositions in the short term. But when we talk about the macro situation, when we look at what's really going on in the long term, we are spending more money than we have. And it doesn't matter what country you're in, it doesn't matter where you are. If you have a fiat currency, you are in that situation. And there's a lot of people right now that are living on something I like to call hopium. Okay, hopium, where they say, look, there's a new person in charge, and this time it's going to be different. And look, I really hope that it is. And I think in some small ways it will be different. But truly, really and truly, I'm saying this to you, it's not going to be different in the long term. The system is still the same. Even if the next 4 years goes perfectly, push it out another 10 and we're right back where we started until the system changes. And I have not heard one iota from any country in the Western world about changing the system, about saying fiat is a problem and we got to go back to gold. There's only 2 places that I've heard that, or maybe Bitcoin, or maybe something else. Doesn't have to be gold, but my point is getting away from this current fiat system. There's only 2 places I've heard about that. That's in individual states within the continental United States. So we're talking about places like Texas and places like Utah and other places where they're recognizing that they have the right to use gold and silver as money per the Constitution. And so they're going to do it. And good money drives out the bad, and if that starts happening, it will have an effect. But the only other place I'm hearing it is from this BRICS thing on the other side of the world that's not in the Western world. And a lot of people like to say, well, that doesn't really mean anything. They're never going to succeed. They're never going to make anything happen. But you need to understand, it's all about credible threats. You don't need something to fully play out in order to make change. Sometimes it's just the credible threat of the possibility to say, hey, look, if this happens, then that happens. Therefore, we're not going to let it get that far. Okay, so if some countries start using gold, then they're going to become more fiscally disciplined, and good money is going to drive out the bad, and it's going to create problems for us. We're going to have to tighten up our spending in the United States because the United States is a world currency. We're going to have to tighten up our spending. We're going to have to raise interest rates, and we're going to have to get our SHIT together. That could happen, but I'm not counting on it. So my point of this is we're definitely in a bubble, and there's definitely some crazy things going on. But is gold and silver going to keep pulling back? Well, I'm going to do some more videos on this. I'm sure, there's always the possibility of recessions. There's a lot of different things that can happen out there. Okay, it's not to say that gold and silver can't go down. And in fact, I'll be making a video on this soon about a case why it just might for the next year. We've been through an incredible run recently, if you haven't noticed. But long term, you've got to stay the course. Stay the course. Why? Because nothing's changed. Yeah, there's some bubbles out there. There's some weird things going on. Yeah, we just went through a pullback. Could it go deeper? Of course, could go deeper. But it really shouldn't change anything. Now, having said that, I am definitely going to do a buyer beware on silver. That's going to be a video coming out soon, so look for that. And the reason being is because we have some very negative pressures that are going to come out very soon. Don't mind my stack here. I'll show you what it is in a second. We have some very negative pressures coming out soon for silver. And I would like my audience to be prepared. Not to say that I think silver is going to go down, but just to be prepared to understand all possible angles. So with that, this video is essentially to say that there's a pullback. None of us know what's going to happen next. Get ready for a rough and bumpy ride. Okay, and now we're going to do my coin review. Super disappointing. One of my Kookaburra capsules just found was broken. And this is one of the downsides when they don't come in tubes. Something happened. Somebody dropped something somewhere. I'm not going to say it was me, but I'm the only one who handles my bullion, so probably was me. But the plus side is I've got two of these open now. One is cracked and one I opened carefully, so I guess I'm going to have to sell one. Let's start with the queen side. It's the queen. Same old, same old. Really nothing to say here other than to say, wow, that's in good condition considering this is getting a little long in the tooth now for a coin. Now, this is a very special Kookaburra. This is a 2018 with the Perth Dog Proof Privy. Okay, now I'm not much of a guy that knows all the details with proofs and privies, but from what I understand, they made a 2018 Kookaburra as well, separate from this. I could be wrong about that, but I thought that's what I found on the internet. And this is kind of a cool design. It's got, some really interesting colors around the eye and two tones, actually three different tones if you can't tell, on the wings and the feathers. But they've got this dog privy mark. And this is something special to do with Australia and the Perth Mint. I don't know the deal. I just see lots of coins with this, and it just never has appealed to me at all. But I just happened to pick these up. I got a whole stack of them, as I showed earlier. And I did a quick search on Google, and these are actually going for quite a bit of money if they're in good condition. They must be slightly lower mintage than some other years. Not really sure on exactly what makes these more valuable or less valuable, but I think they're cool, and I have a bunch. And so I thought I would show them off. There's not a single year of Kookaburra that I wouldn't buy. But if I could leave you with one thing when I talk about Kookaburras, and I'm going to review a few more. I have quite a few years of Kookaburras. The number one thing that makes these valuable is that they don't stop producing the series. Because as long as that series is going on, you're generating new interest, which means there's going to be buyers for the older coins in the series. And this is one of these things I complain about that Perf Mint does so well. People say the Perf Mint is good because of the quality of their coins, and you know what? They are good for that reason. But much more important than that, because there's lots of mints out there that do good quality coins. And if there's any mints listening to this, please take this point home. What really makes a series valuable is that it is continued. It can't end. The second it ends, you've put a time limit on how long that coin's worth, and eventually people just won't know about it. And if they don't know about it, it's not worth anything. So please make your series continue on. I would like a series to be indefinite, like the Lunar series, like the Kookaburra, like the Koala Bear, like the Chinese Panda, like, well, I'd say the Silver Eagle, but I mean, come on, it's the same. It's the same thing every year. But you get what I'm saying. Make your series coins continue, and they're worth more money, and that is why the Kookaburra is worth money. That is why it is always worth buying. That is why it holds its value, and that is why this coin in particular is doing quite well for me. I have seen these go from anywhere from about an $8 premium, which I never pay much for these Kookaburras. Usually $2 to $4 premium is what I tend to pay. Currently going from an $8 premium up to, if it's high quality and slabbed, I've seen them up to $250. You know, who knows what this would be if it was slabbed. It's in good condition, isn't it? You know, you keep something in a desiccant controlled space, and turns out it doesn't tarnish or lose any of its structure, but it does make me really sad about this cracked capsule. She really took a beating. Looks like this side's actually okay, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I guess this might be the one I leave on display. But having said that, okay, what are we going to trade out for our Kookaburra? I think it's time to retire the Krugerrand. So check out that 2018 Kookaburra. Anybody else got those? Anybody have an opinion on what those are worth? Let me know. I just want to say I really do appreciate the channel. You know, when I started producing videos frequently again, I was at 1,000 subs. We're over 2,000 now, which is quite shocking. Pretty amazing growth for a channel that is as ranty and random as this one. So I really do appreciate it. I guess that's all I've got for today. If you want to support the channel but you don't know what to say, today's word is going to be bird. The bird is the word. So with that, this has been the Anecdotal Economist. That's my 2 ounces worth. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, I'm pulling for you, and we're all in this together.
Kilogram, you're the dragon, you're the rabbit.
Okay, let's look at the money side now. Watch as I pull this bad boy out of here. Absolutely stunning once you get it out of the case. Feeling the weight of this in my hand. Oh, that's such a good feeling.
I never had enough gold.